So what's the most annoying thing about watching a football game with me, Dalton?
God, I feel like he's clipping out more. I would say probably your most annoying quality watching a football game is when you get properly drunk and you're like, yes, and you swing your arm so dramatically, you know how the best way to explain it. When an umpire in baseball goes, "You're out." That's how Matthew like cheers when he's watching football, and it's like to me when Matthew does that, I look at him like, okay, it seems forced. Like it's like you put so much force into the movement, like you're really pushing for the impact. It's really odd to watch because to me, I'm like, I can't we just celebrate differently, but it cracks me up because you're so it's just you and your move. Nothing fucking matters except you and putting that fist in the ground and pulling it back up and going yeah. But it's so obnoxious and it bothers me. But I also think it's hilarious.
Good. Yeah, I'm a pretty tame individual most times, but during the 49ers game, I am not the normal person that I am on the outside world.
It's nice seeing it every once in a while.
It brings out a different side of me.
I feel like this is the first time we've mentioned the 49ers or football at all.
Well, David, the reason why is because last year when we wanted to do a 49ers segment, someone started editing it out because we were the only ones that cared about it. So I just decided to keep our wins and losses
Thanks a lot, David.
to ourselves, even though we lost this week. Quick update.
We don't need to talk about it.
Lost this week.
Don't need to talk about it.
You moved.
Did Shrek move right now?
Yeah, that was my
You sure it wasn't
the
spooky
ghost?
Oh, we should probably say welcome. Oh, should we do welcome?
That'll be after we talk about the things, or we can do it now.
No, it's fine. We'll do it after we talk about the things.
Dalton, you have a new favorite obsession? What is it?
I don't, but I do like. Oh,
this is glass. I'm not gonna throw it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's high quality.
It's called cookie butter, and I know it was a thing a long time ago. I saw it on a Vine, and they're like, "You guys got to try cookie butter," and I was like, "I'm gonna get that at some point." Well, I didn't. Matthew did.
Nope, Monique did.
Monique did. And Monique, this is going to be gone by the time you come back. I'm going to buy you a new jar. I've been eating this by the spoonful. It's like peanut butter, but with cookies. And you literally can't go wrong. I can't. This is the flavor of this reminds me of Christmas. And you all know how much I love Christmas. So I can't stop eating this and feeling super nostalgic for some odd reason, even though I've never had this food before. I've never eaten this before. This is my first time. But, it's so bomb. And it just, you could put it on anything. It's just a spread. You could put it on anything. So, you know what Big Daddy's going to be doing on the weekend. Just fucking pouring that fucker in some, apples. Maybe some bananas.
Nice.
Maybe I'll throw a little orange in there.
That sounds weird.
And some cherries.
That also sounds weird.
You think cherries would be weird?
Hey, you know what else is weird? There's a new craze going on in Mormon land. And if you guys do recall, probably a month or two ago, we talked about this thing called soaking, which is where...
We talked about this?
We did. We brought it up.
Where someone holds a pee-pee in a vagina.
Yep, someone inserts...
Doesn't move.
Inserts a penis into a vagina, and they just hang out. They just sit. They don't wiggle. They don't move. They don't thrust. They just sit there because technically they're not having sex. Therefore, they are not sinning. But this is the closest thing to sex that they can get without sinning.
Is insertion considered a thrust, though?
And the pull out is one thrust.
Yeah.
But maybe because it's segmented. Maybe there's a time restraint. If it's
maybe
17
they
seconds.
Could readjust every 30 seconds. But that 30 seconds is really matters.
You think they ever pretend to have a twitch? I got a cramp in my butt. You know?
So it's not. They're like, oh God, I'm not humping. I'm scratching my leg.
I got a cramp.
Vigorously.
I'm not hydrated again. But instead of faking a cramp, there's a new way, and it involves just the strongest of friendships. And so basically, two individuals go into a room and they start soaking, hanging out. I don't know what the hell you talk about for that long, but you just hang out.
Talk about life. Pillow talk.
Meanwhile, you have your best friend.
Huh?
You have your best friend start jumping on the bed.
Does it have to be your best friend?
Best friend or your brother?
Absolutely not.
Can't you like Task Rabbit that?
Task Rabbit?
Well, you know what?
Pay someone on Fiverr.
A professional bed jumper.
Dude, imagine. You probably get some like mad humps in there.
But so basically a third party starts jumping on the bed.
Mad hops for mad humps.
Causing the individuals that are soaking to unintentionally start having sex. But they're still not doing it because somebody else is forcing them to do it.
It's amazing. It's a miracle even.
I mean, at that point, if
just
you're
have sex.
Nope. I was going to say, if you're already jumping, can't they just like move one of the people?
Yeah.
With their hands?
Same thing.
It's still them making it happen?
Yeah.
It's
not
crazy.
the person's fault.
It's
They're just
amazing to me
there.
the loopholes and
Tricked you, God.
and lengths that people will go to.
Sex is great. Who knows, you know?
Crazy. You know what else is great? What about these intros we got coming up, Dalton?
These upcoming 5 weeks, guys, we're going to be a little crazy, a little wild. We're going to get a little spooky on you. We did this last year, and we had a great time. So we're bringing back Spooktober for the podcast this year. And this time it's on camera, so we're figuring that shit out as well. But enjoy these next 5 weeks. The next 5 weeks of intros are going to be very different. You won't hear our intro until November. So if you miss it, listen to the old episodes because this is different, bitches.
So, David, roll that intro.
I'm Drum. And I'm Drummer. Killer.
They're spinning around. All right, welcome back, everybody. Week 97.
Week 97, guys. That's 7 times 7 equals 49, plus 1 equals 50, plus 30 equals 50, 80, plus 10 equals 90, plus 5 equals 95, plus 3 equals 98, minus 1, 97. 97.
And as always, we're your hosts. I'm Drum.
And I'm Drummer.
And this is a podcast about brotherhood and the 3 S's: storytelling,
The supernatural.
and self-improvement. But for the next 5 weeks, the S's are going to change
Into
skeletons,
sinners.
and sorcerers.
Crazy shit, guys.
Wild stuff. So, let's kind of dive into before.
One of them couldn't have been spooky?
I thought that's where he was going.
I
But then
thought about sinning.
I'd also decided sorcerers.
We had to talk about sex, though, with spooky sex, you know? The sinner sex. That's why I was thinking that.
Oh, I see. But so the next 5 weeks are going to be different. Dalton, do you kind of want to like go over the structure? And
I don't have a structure per se,
gosh.
but I worked really hard on getting things for us to talk about.
And in that, Dalton decided to one day spend a solid 15 minutes going through.
No, this took me 3 hours.
3 hours.
I worked on this for 3 hours. Oh, and then like an hour.
I don't know if you're helping your case with
Yeah.
this.
Dude, I put a lot of work into this.
Okay, he did have to go find the links. So I will give him that.
And
that
I
takes
read,
time.
And I listed all the music, and I put in fucking work, guys.
Yeah, so Dalton created a separate Google Doc from the one that we normally use. And should I turn around or can you put a screenshot?
I'll put the screenshot.
I feel like it'll be a better image.
But
you know?
you guys are looking at it right now.
Go ahead and look right there. And this is what Dalton decided was the scariest colors to use for our spooky thing. And I just want to know, what the hell did teal ever do to you?
Okay, so I was playing around with colors.
Let alone the ice cream font that you said.
This is like the font for like an ice cream social. Like I feel like I'm in 3rd grade.
The variety on this document is insane. You can go get so many different color combinations. So at first, I had black and gray, black and red. I was like, okay, whatever. But then I was like, what is like truly like what fucks with you a little bit, You got a nice color with the fucking beat bloody red, Like you're like dying on a summer day. That's what I thought of.
So what did the teal? Did you not like the ice cream from Kingdom Hearts? Because that's exactly the color that it is.
there's like a chiller font that like is scary. looks like dripping blood.
Yeah. No, I like the font though. It's like you're dying on a summer day with a clown.
So you're going like with a juxtaposition.
What the fuck is that?
Where it's like it's something that looks really happy.
Did you honestly expect me to know what the fuck that meant?
Yeah, I did.
You honestly thought Dalton's gonna know what this word means when I say it out loud.
Uh-huh.
It's time for Dictionary with Dave.
I need to actually look up like the dictionary.
So while he's looking that up, I'd like to, for our listeners that only listen, the font that we're talking about is just your stereotypical bold cursive font, but the color scheme that we got going on here is a red.
So the font is called Lobster.
Lobster.
I like to think a ruby red.
A ruby red. And
why not blood red?
Ruby's my favorite Pokemon game.
And
Ruby.
the it is highlighted by just the happiest of teals. And Dalton told us that these were scary colors, and I don't know why.
I literally just explained it to you.
So juxtaposition from the dictionary is the fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. So the juxtaposition of you dying on a bright and sunny, ice cream loving summer day.
Yeah.
Like a very happy image with a very dark image.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're put together makes you feel unsettled.
I like the contradiction.
Oh, you know the word contradiction, but you don't know the word
David, that's a very
juxtaposition.
common word in the English vocabulary. No, you don't. I feel like, what did you say? Poltergeist? What the fuck you say? Jotunheim?
What did I say?
Jotunheimer.
Juxtaposition. Juxtaposition.
So for the next 5 weeks, the first half will probably be a little similar to, we'll do weekly catch-ups and stuff. But then the rest of the content is going to be all about spooky things. And if you haven't listened to last year's October episodes, Dalton and I dive into some of our experiences with supernatural things and kind of about, what that looked like for us growing up and kind of shed some light into why one of us is incredibly interested in this stuff and I just get dragged along for the ride. So I'll let you figure out who is who.
Fuck me over and call me Sally. Jesus, man.
Well, get into that more.
So, yeah.
So Halloween for you, Matt, in particular. What was the feelings that came? Did you ever get excited when you heard about Halloween? Was it like a feeling of like, fuck, I got to walk my little brother around again? Or was it like, God,
no, I
hate
always
dressing up the same character every year?
I definitely didn't enjoy dressing up. I got over that pretty quick.
Yeah.
I always liked walking around with like you and all the cousins when we would go trick-or-treating. That was always fun for me. And I already know mom and dad are in the car like, he's excited to dress up, and I probably was, but I remember not ever necessarily looking forward to it. But that might just be my hindsight vision now. But I always looked forward to going to grandma's and grandpa's and going trick-or-treating. I never really liked it when we would go to the trunk or treats.
I hated the trunk or treats.
When we were like church hopping or whatever.
Oh, dude, this is the worst.
Yeah.
Why?
Because, I'll be honest, churches ruined fucking Halloween a little bit for me.
You don't think it makes it more interesting because it's so forbidden?
I understand what you mean. No.
I love that, David.
I mean, it is a juxtaposition. Kind of, right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I appreciate the callback.
That was pretty funny.
No, but I don't know. Like, they were fun. Like, but Dalton and I started church hopping, and when we started church hopping, it was just kind of like we'd go to just some random church, and it's not like we knew anybody there. So it was just me and Dalton walking around with our parents, and we'd be fine for like 45 minutes to an hour, and then after that, it'd be like
there just wasn't any excitement in it. You were just walking in a circle. Like, yeah, you got candy, which is great, but like I wanted to see like the spooky houses and run as fast as I possibly can to the door and run back out because there was like shit everywhere. It was terrifying.
Yeah. Probably one of my favorite Halloweens though is it was me, you.
This is my worst. This is my most non-favorite Halloween.
Which one?
Which one are you gonna say right now?
I really don't know.
Is it the one where you dragged me out of the house when I was watching a Thursday night football game? And you're like, you're coming trick-or-treating with us. And we walked around like Glendora Hills.
Oh, in high school? No, that was fun though.
That's my most non-fond Halloween.
That was fun. Why?
I did not want to be there.
Yeah, you didn't really get a choice.
Yeah, they didn't let me just be me. They wanted me to go and hang out with the crowd. Dude, I wanted to watch Thursday Night Football and eat like Tostitos pizza rolls.
Even though you love Halloween.
I like Halloween for like the atmosphere of it. I enjoy like the music. I enjoy like the idea of it. I don't care for dressing up. I don't care for it for the party aspect. I like the idea of it. I just like that we get to celebrate a little bit of darkness every once in a while.
I feel like I'm not fun because I don't like dressing up. Like
I don't like dressing up either.
Like a costume party now.
Great.
Like I don't really like.
Dude,
I'll throw something on. But
look at us. Look at us right now. People can't look at us and be like, "Those are not fun guys." We're fun guys.
I'm just fun in my normal clothes.
Yeah, like I don't need to be in a costume to have fun.
I don't think, dude.
I don't need to drink to have fun.
Okay, no, actually, you know what? I was about to say, do you think people change when they put on the costumes? But I feel like they do because I feel like David, the second he would put on his costume, just instinctively would become that character.
Yeah.
Poor Rachel.
Have we told David already what we want him to be for our kids for Christmas? I want to be the Grinch.
Oh, another character I have to be for a different holiday.
Yeah,
just creating childhood trauma.
A completely different family now. You got to be the Grinch.
Oh, I got to be the Grinch too?
Yes.
That's not Halloween.
I know, but it's kind of like Halloween. Is it Dr. Seuss made the Grinch? And then
yes, Dr. Seuss made the Grinch,
Grinch
but the whole thing is about Christmas.
Tim Burton likes Dr. Seuss.
Jack Skellington is
Tim Burton. But
Tim Burton got
that's
the Halloween.
No, David.
You're like taking 3 steps to make this work.
I'm really trying here.
David's gonna be either Oogie Boogie or the mayor from Halloween Town.
Why? Because those are the fat ones.
No, those are just the funny ones. No, you're not fat. Shut up.
Oh, with that Tom and Jerry shirt, we got some problems anyway.
Oh yeah. Shouty Touty and Elise, we have more work to do. David replaced his old Tom and Jerry shirt with a new, brighter one.
It's obnoxious.
It's just because it's red.
I like it. I think it's cool.
No, I definitely only bought it because I was like, you know what? I remember that old one. These guys are gonna hate it.
I can still see that one, and then the purple shirt with the lion,
or
the cat, cat with the glasses.
Not even the banana splits.
Green shirt with the tiger.
What about the banana splits one?
That one's just. I still have it. It's just.
Did you ever watch that movie I
apart.
got you? The haunted banana splits movie.
No, but it's October.
Dude,
there we go.
There we go.
There we
All
go.
right, bringing it back. So for this season of Spooktober, we're going to be doing something a little different. Me, Dalton, and David are going to be doing small little events throughout the month.
And we're not going to promise you guys it's going to be every week, but we're going to try and do it every week.
Yes.
I want to make that very clear.
We could also like load up. And do a bunch of events in one day.
Yeah,
so
that's kind of the goal right now.
Yeah, and then we're also going to be watching some spooky movies. And doing some spooky movie
Can
reviews.
we get specific on the type of spooky movies we're going to be watching?
We can talk about that later when we actually.
Yeah, not now.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare I?
Jump ahead in the document.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, so pretty exciting. Do we want to give a preview on like some of the things that we're thinking about, or
yeah,
and
some of the stuff that we're thinking of doing? Dalton came up with most of these.
I did. As like I said, I worked on these for many hours at a time.
We can tell you the one we immediately vetoed.
Ouija board. That's a no-go.
Look,
that's a hard no.
It was an option. I wasn't saying we had to do it.
What possessed you to? Obviously the Ouija board, but what made you want to go, let's play with the Ouija board and let's invite some spirits into this house?
Have you not seen any horror movie that starts? That's normally how it goes.
Just trying to make my life more interesting, okay?
Okay, we can do that without the Ouija board.
Dalton, you have things coming to find you without the Ouija board. I think you're fine.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, maybe you're right.
So
I just thought it would be funny.
If you want to do an event, move the picture again and see what happens.
Hell no. Fuck that picture.
Okay. And then we got hang out in a dark room. I just want to see feel the vibe in a dark room. You know, sometimes it gets creepy.
Nothing
you see things
special about the room.
No, just hanging out in a dark room.
Just a room. You go find one.
You just here, just close the translates. You know, let's just hang out.
Do you want to spend the night in a cemetery?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's too spooky.
All right, so
really?
What other things you got?
Why is that too spooky?
Because I don't want things poking my butt again, shit my pants. I don't want to do it
again.
Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
The spooky. Actually, that needs to be cut out.
Do we talk about?
We can't talk about that. That's the one thing I want to talk about.
The Queen Mary?
Uh-uh.
Really? Why?
That just triggers so much of my IBS every time when I even talk about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And also, I just don't want everyone to know.
Did we talk about that last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't talk about that last year. We did?
It's been on the podcast.
I said the story on the podcast?
You tell everybody the story.
Oh, never mind then. Then yeah, spooky butt.
Spooky butt.
I had a spooky butt. That's actually what I would probably call it now. Because I don't know why it triggered my stomach so much when it did. But
it was also just in the middle of it being so bad.
No, that's the thing. It started everything.
Oh.
It started my IBS and it started that's when all my issues started coming in. Fucking crazy. Must have been a really spooky
ghost, man.
Spooky ghost.
Scared the shit right out of you.
Doing a ghost tour.
Yeah, ghost tours. We could have a spooky baking show. We could have a haunted escape room. Maybe get a psychic reading every once in a while.
That one sounds cool.
Psychic reading?
Getting a psychic reading.
Yeah, I'm down for that. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we'll our goal is to do one of these events for the next 5 weeks, just have something to talk about, whether we do them all in one day and then we just kind of like talk about them throughout the weeks or whatever. But that's kind of what we're thinking. If you guys have any suggestions, go ahead and let us know. Yeah.
Let us know where.
Oh, yes.
We should have it done by Friday.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So
You said it was already ready.
Well, we have to record.
yeah, you need to listen to the
voice.
voicemail that Dalton decided was the creation
and
of
the
it.
voice the number that you guys will have to go to is going to come out with the post that David posts on Friday, because we don't want you calling it. Well, actually, this comes out Friday.
Do you know the phone number they need to call?
No,
How do we find that?
I have to type it into my Google Chromebook. Not my Chromebook, my laptop.
So you want to look it up during the break so you can tell us?
Yeah,
when we get back?
I'll when we get back after the break, I'll explain it to you guys what the fuck it is.
But if you guys do recall last week, Monique mainly and us partially came up with the idea of the drum line, where it's going to be a hotline that you guys can call and leave your questions, comments, concerns, or
You can still email us too, but if you want to hear your own voice on the podcast, then
go ahead, leave it there. We will play it and then we will answer it. And we will be pre-screening these beforehand, just because we let
sometimes,
probably most
I'll
of the time.
pre-screen them.
Absolutely not.
And just keep it fucking rated R. Don't keep any less than that. All right, fucking work for it. If you fucking PG-13, not even listening.
But so you guys, well, we never got into that, but like you guys did this last year, but it was not as lighthearted as kind of this month seems. This month is more about topics rather than about your personal experience.
Yeah, I feel like we kind of got too excited the first.
So well,
time we did
just
it.
Dalton looks at me the other day. He's like, "Do you have more stories?" I'm all, "No, we took like 20-something years of our lives and confined it to 4 weeks last year."
yeah. Do you want to give, for people that are new here who missed maybe the first season, you want to give like a little recap of those weeks?
So I get really excited for Spooktober. It's just
You also just have to explain a little bit about yourself.
yeah. I think for me, I've always been into like the villains, the bad guys, or just like the weird, spooky shit that you can't explain. At least for me and my mom specifically, really like paranormal stuff. So I've always kind of been involved with it and enjoyed it. And I don't know. I think it's sometimes like it's people look at it like in such a different and a negative way that it makes me more curious about it. Because like, why does it look like that when it's just an opinion? So it kind of makes me think a lot more about like the way we view things as well. So I've always liked Halloween. I just never been a big part of Halloween, like decorating and stuff. I haven't gotten into till recently, like getting excited to buy decorations or like doing stuff like this.
Show off. We haven't mentioned this yet.
Yeah, this is the set that you guys will be seeing. I'm sure a few more things will be added. We had a little miscommunication today, but a few things will be added here. But for now, this is it. This is the new spooky set. So Matt, give me a boo boo.
Boo boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then for me, growing up, supernatural stuff was just always kind of happening. I don't really enjoy talking about it, but I do it for our listeners and because Dalton
does it for the views.
So excited about
You
it.
both are.
But No, I think last year was just very personal and secret, not secrets, but like kind of like secrets, like stories I don't necessarily tell just about everybody. So whether you listen to them and you're like, this guy's full of shit or not, they happen to me. My stories have stayed the same for as long as I've been alive or since I've experienced them. But yeah, so this year's gonna be a little more lighthearted because, like I said, we
brought out all our ideas, like all our like own experiences and stuff in the first season. So like we don't really have much to give personally wise.
Well, and how did that affect you after you guys are expelling a lot of emotional energy, reliving a lot of these memories,
getting through that? Yeah, those nights were rough. The nights were rough to sleep through, just a little bit. Because you had to rethink about it all, and then you're like, fuck, like people are gonna ask questions about it for the next week and a half, and you got to be reminded of these things that you saw and stuff, which isn't always the most exciting thing to me, but it's definitely part of the life that I chose to live. So it is what it is, So this week is a little more lighthearted, like we said.
Yeah,
we'll see where it goes.
It'll be fun. We're gonna be doing another creepypasta just because we really enjoyed the one that we had with Ben Drowned earlier this season.
Shouty touty Ben Drowned.
Oh, I don't know if we should shouty touty him, but but
our computer goes out.
But yeah, so we really enjoyed that. So we're gonna be doing another creepypasta here pretty soon, and talking about some creepy histories, some scary movies, and all that jazz. So, but I'm scared shitless. So let's take a break.
Already? Bye.
Imagine this.
Imagine
it's late one night. You got a burning question that you've scoured the internet for, and you just cannot seem to find an answer.
Where are you?
And instead of going to somebody that knows you personally to ask these questions to and to find these answers, you go, what if there was a hotline? Better yet, what if there was a drum line? Now you'll be able to call the drum line and leave your question anonymously unless you accidentally say your name in the voicemail. So don't do that. Anonymous. So you go ahead and call this number and leave any questions, fun stories, comments, or suggestions, or insults. That's also welcome too.
And say it, dude.
So you can go ahead and call the drum line at
840-800-1219. 840-800-1219. Call today.
Again, you can call the drum line at
8.
Seriously, call us there. Stories, comments, questions, and we will get them answered for you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Listen to you then.
See you later.
But wait, there's more. Call us again at
840-1219. Call today. I hope I don't get all the notifications.
It's going to pop up on your phone. Oh, all right. And we're back. All right.
And we're back.
Right. Seriously, though, call us. That'll be fun. I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Hell yeah, suckers. It doesn't have to be spooky related. Just do whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. Go for it.
Whatever you want us to talk about or make fun of you about.
Yeah, that's fun.
We'll definitely make fun of you.
So part of the segments of spooky season is going to be scary movies. And so, Dave, you kind of want to intro this one because I have no idea what this movie is.
And for all these spooky movies, guys, these are all going to be David's choice. So if they are a bad movie or you don't like that movie, go to David, not to us.
Except for one. I chose one movie that I want to watch with Dalton.
Why is it my choice?
Because you watch all the movies.
David is movie master. We don't know any movies past 2015, probably. Maybe 20.
I only know the movies that David shows me.
David shows me a lot of movies too, actually. I know all like the hero movies and stuff.
So we have Dalton set up a scary movie of the week for us.
Bow, bow, bow.
And you have 5 on here, but we're only going to have 4 weeks after this. So I'm just going to have to take one out.
No worries.
So the 5 that we have are a funny one, a creepy one, a psychological thriller, Poltergeist.
I don't understand what's so funny about these. These are really good.
Because they're so broad, and that one is so specific.
That is the movie Poltergeist.
So we were watching that.
Oh, I forgot that was a movie. I meant like the genre, the Poltergeist genre,
the ghost genre.
Yeah.
Okay.
Poltergeist.
Okay.
And an oldie but a goodie.
So let's go ahead and say what next week's movie is and what category does that satisfy.
So the first week that we'll be doing is comedy, a funny one, a funny scary movie.
Which is Scary Movie 3.
No, I'm
4?
surprised you guys actually haven't seen this. Those are classic. Those are classic movies.
Okay. Wow.
You guys can veto my choice too.
No, absolutely not. What is it?
It is called What We Do in the Shadows, and I'm frankly surprised you haven't watched it already.
I have no idea what this movie's
What
about.
We Do in the Shadows.
What do you think it's about?
Is that a movie? That's a movie?
What do you think it's
It
about?
is. That's why David's having us watch it.
I thought that was a TV show. That's a TV show, right, too, David?
It is a TV show now.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
what I
nice.
thought it was. I was like, I don't want to watch a whole series. I don't have time for that.
We ain't got time for that.
But a movie? Into the Shadows. It sounds like...
No,
Fuck, I know
no.
what the fuck it is.
It's what
fuck
we
you,
do.
David.
What we do in the shadows.
What do you mean? Why are you mad at me?
Why are you
It's-
changing the name of the movie?
I thought it's the one where Mom made us watch it.
No.
Remember the one with the guy coughs in the background?
What?
The guy sneezes and coughs in the background. It was all one shot. It was in the shadows. It was made in the 80s.
That's not
I don't think
this one.
this is it.
70s or 80s.
Nah.
I just
But it's based off of that with Johnny Depp, right?
no.
No. That's in the shadows. This is what we do in the shadows.
Go ahead.
What do they do?
Click on the link.
So this is why the guy is coughing.
So yeah, it's about 3 vampires who relocate and live together in a house in New Zealand, and
That is absolutely hilarious.
mhm.
Yes, I'm completely down. Are we watching this together or separate?
Let's just do separate because I feel like it's going to be easiest with the schedule.
at least you two can watch it together.
Yeah.
I would love to be here to watch these movies with you, and it's just a matter of if we can or not.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll be watching that, and we'll give you guys our hot takes after that. But, Dalton, do you have a favorite scary movie?
A favorite scary movie? Yes, it's actually a whole series. If you guys haven't heard of it, it's called Leprechaun. It is a masterpiece through and through.
What do you mean through and through? Like all of them are masterpieces?
Each one of them is special in my heart.
Even the one where he goes to space,
Dude, that's one of the best ones.
and the one where he's in the hood.
Yes, and In the Hood too, even better. Bro, if you guys haven't watched Leprechaun, I haven't watched the newest one actually.
Is it
but
because he's played by Wicket from Star Wars,
I guess so,
the Ewok?
but that's not why. I just love the whole vibe of the movie. It's
Okay.
just super fun. I rewatch it all the time. That's something that me and Mom actually have watched the most together.
Yeah, because I remember I had night class in college, and I'd walk in, and you and Mom would always be watching a different one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she would always watch the Leprechaun series with me. It's always nice.
Matt?
I actually don't have a favorite scary movie.
Do you have a fond Halloween movie?
Halloween.
Halloween, like the movie Halloween?
Yeah.
Not like
The
Halloween.
movie Halloween.
Yeah, the movie Halloween.
The new one or the old one?
I actually really enjoyed the new one.
Not
but
like
the
not
old
even
one's a
Nightmare Before
classic.
Christmas.
That's
Or
not
like-
a Halloween movie.
Ooh.
Yes, it is.
That's a multi-holiday movie.
What town is it based in?
Dude, I don't know. It depends what scene you're in because you definitely go to Christmas Town.
Yeah, but you're in Halloween Town.
Okay. No, that's not.
It's a Halloween movie.
Yes, you're right. That's why they always.
You see how he gave in so easily? Because he knows he's wrong.
I am
Yeah,
wrong.
That's exactly what happened.
Very wrong.
If he wanted to argue with me, he would.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's argued for less. So
I have. Yeah, no. I mean, I enjoy that, but I don't.
Why don't you have a favorite scary movie?
Because I don't necessarily like scary movies. I'll watch them if like everybody wants to sit down and watch it,
Ooh.
but I won't like go out of my way to be like, I need to go see that in theater.
And then like a really real scary movie. That's my favorite. Is what's that one, David?
What's
Heritage.
the scariest scary movie you've seen? Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Hereditary.
That's a good one.
That one is my favorite. And the second one that came out is also good, but it's just harder to go through. But once you learn about like all the little like subliminal messaging,
Which one's that?
Midsommar.
yeah,
I like that one a lot. That one was really
that
good.
was a while.
More
They have
than Hereditary.
beautiful artwork, dude.
Yeah, because Hereditary gets very funny at the end. At the very, very
Like
end.
unintentionally?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like unintentionally just.
I know the exact scene that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
like it's.
She's crawling from one side of the wall to the door, and it just looks completely off.
Yeah.
like it's just
Yeah,
funny as
they
fuck.
Yeah, certain things just weren't done well enough at the end. But the concept of it was creepy as fuck.
Yeah. I love that type of fucking cult shit. It's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, and then Midsommar is super, super good. I really enjoyed that movie.
It was hard for me to get through, but when I wasn't falling asleep, it was interesting. You know what I mean? I just couldn't keep my eyes open. But that has nothing to do with the movie. It's just me.
And what's the first scary movie you remember watching?
Halloween Town.
What's the first one that scarred you?
Like scary movie,
like
not
you shouldn't have been
Halloween
watching
themed.
it.
Oh, like
and you
fucked
watched
me
it.
up?
Yeah.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose.
That one?
That one's a good one.
I watched that.
That
Yeah,
was
I don't
gnarly.
know where I just remember watching it and I was like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Yeah, that one fucked you up.
I don't need any more of this in my life right now. I'm gonna just leave.
I would say the real for the first scary movie I have watched was it was probably Halloween.
Yeah,
Like the original. Because Dad didn't want to watch it with me and Mom did it and Matthew wasn't home and I wanted to watch a scary movie because it was in October.
Dad didn't watch it with you.
No,
Dad loves that movie.
I don't
I'm
know.
surprised they would let you.
Yeah, Mom said go watch it by yourself and I was like, I think she thought I wouldn't, which then made me want to do it more, So I just went and did it myself and I was terrified.
Isn't that the movie where when it was first filmed, there was no music? It was absolutely quiet, and it wasn't that scary. And then they went and they added music afterwards, and then it was like absolutely terrifying.
Oh, I think so.
I think when they first did the showing or whatever, there was no music to it, and people weren't scared. So then they went and they added music, and then everybody was saying it's the scariest thing they've ever seen in their lives.
Yeah, I can see how that could work.
Yeah.
Music does something to people, man.
Yep.
Music can mess you up.
It draws you in, gets
really
you
does.
invested.
It really does. Are we doing creepypasta now?
Well, you're right. But it wasn't like the first cut that was out in theaters.
Still in the movie. Yes. Oh, yeah. No. They did like a
It was
small
all,
showing,
like,
right?
The producers and all the directors and all.
Oh, it was like a pre-showing?
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I guess that makes sense then. That doesn't make sense, but you were hearing it from one of the fans being like, oh, yeah, like when it first came out, it didn't have music. Like, even though that would be crazier,
Yeah.
I feel like to have a whole group of people be like, yeah, it's definitely more scary with the music. And it's just like a normal base of people, to say that.
So does
Why?
that mean that Michael Myers is your most iconic or favorite slasher?
No, because I didn't watch any other ones. I can't compare.
Like, so if you had to pick, so you couldn't pick
I've never seen
which one you like the most.
I would have to say him, only because I've never seen any Freddy Krueger, Jason. Like I've never seen any of those.
Yeah, I've never seen him. I've seen one Freddy Krueger. I think the first one. I have a hard time watching like 80s movies though.
Why?
I just don't like how they look.
Just the grain of the film?
Yeah, it just bothers me. It's like more shiny. I hate it. It literally makes it hard for me to watch. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Yeah. I have a hard time watching those.
Well, luckily this one coming up is not from the 80s.
Yeah, perfect.
Some of the other ones might be from the 80s, but
Yeah, that's
you
fine.
already agreed.
That's fine.
So.
I agree.
But yeah, so like we said earlier, we did Binge Round a couple months ago, and the two of you really loved it.
That was a good one. I enjoyed that a lot.
That was insane.
And so we're going to try and do either one after this week. This week is just a quick one shot, but it's something that is connected to kind of your YouTube conspiracy theory
And it's amazing.
channel that you have for this show already. And this is actually one of the more famous creepypastas as well.
Oh, yeah, this is actually.
So if you guys want to intro this and get into it.
All right, guys. So this creepypasta is brought to you by Drum and Drummer. This one is called
Squidward Suicide.
Why do we always want to say it together?
Because we both like the titles.
You're brothers. You love each other.
We do. Do you want to start reading, please?
Do you want me to read the thing?
I hate reading, dude. All right, read it to me.
Okay, I'm gonna pull this out of here. Real quick.
Well, do you know the general idea of the story?
Yes, I've watched this.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I live for this shit.
So, I'm gonna try and
Oh man, This one gets me every time.
So I'm going to do my best to just read this because it's not that long. All right, you guys, before we jump into the creepypasta, this creepypasta is about a children's show. It's about SpongeBob specifically, but as we get deeper into it, there is some incredibly graphic imagery that comes up, and I want to be respectful, and we want to be respectful of everybody, and it's going to be hard to hear. It's hard for us to listen to, and hard for me to read. So if you guys want to skip this, that's completely fine. It does involve children. Go ahead and skip about 10, 12 minutes, and if you hear us diving into is it canon, bro, then you know you've gone just the right amount. So again, I apologize, but just want to give that disclaimer, so go ahead and skip forward. I just want to start off by saying, if you want an answer at the end, be prepared to be disappointed. Just, there isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course, most internships aren't, but it did have some perks beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy over it. Now, since I worked directly with editors and animators, I got to view the new episodes days before they aired. I'll get right to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had very recently made the SpongeBob movie, and the entire staff was somewhat sapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the Series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back for several months. Me and 2 other interns were in the editing room along with lead animators and sound editors for the final cut. We received the copy that was supposed to be, opening quote, fear of the Krabby Patty, closing quote.
Fear of a Krabby Patty.
Of a Krabby Patty. And gathered on the screen to watch. Now, given that this isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card, sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles, such as How Sex Doesn't Work instead of Rockabye Bivalve. Bivalve? When SpongeBob and Patrick adopt the sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, but work-related chuckles. So when we saw the title called Squidward Suicide, we didn't think anything of it as more than a morbid joke. One of the interns did a small throat laugh at it. The happy-go-lucky music played as is normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside, and Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says, okay, and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screens come up, and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things start to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves, but the sound doesn't. At this point, sound is synced up with animation, so yes, that's not common. But when he stops playing, the sound finishes as if the skip never even happened. There's a slight murmur in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not normal cartoon booing that is common in the show, but you could very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame. He too is booing, which is very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though. What is odd is everyone had hyper-realistic eyes. Very detailed. Clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. The shot goes to Squidward sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is of a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is, at this point, there is no sound. Literally, no sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their status showed them working perfectly. He just sat there, blinking, in this silence for about 30 seconds. Then he started to sob, but it was softly. He put his hands, or tentacles, over his eyes and cried quietly for a full minute. All the while, a sound in the background, very slowly growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounded like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slow, I mean it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart, side by side. His sobbing gets louder, more full of hurt and anger. Then the screen twitches a bit, as if it twists on itself, for a split second, then back to normal. The wind through the trees sounds get slowly louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is the sound and Squidward sobbing. They sounded real, as if the sound wasn't coming from the speakers, but as if the speakers were holes. The sound was coming through from the other side. As good as sound as the studio has, they don't purchase the equipment to be that good to produce that sound of quality. Below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faint, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watched this show twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I've had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over the screen as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewound frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was a still photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. The face was mangled and bloodied, one eye dangling over his upturned face, popped. He was naked down to his underwear, his stomach crudely cut open, and entrails laying beside him. He was lying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of the photographer. There was no crime tape, no evidence tags or markers, and the angle was completely off for a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem the photographer was the person reasonable for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that this was just a sick, sick joke. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, and half body in frame. There was now what appeared to be blood running down his face from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, as if you touched it, you'd get blood on your fingers. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds of branches, the laughing, a deep baritone, lasting at longer intervals and coming more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew that he had to. This time the photo was that of what appeared to be a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, her barrettes in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye too was popped out and popped naked except for her underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her back. Again, the body was on the street and the photographer's shadow was visible, very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit, and one intern, the only female in the room, ran out. The show resumed. Damn. About 5 seconds after the second photo played, Squidward went silent, as did all sound, like it was this when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyper-realism, the way the others were in the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if he was watching the viewer. After about 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud, and most fear-inducing of all of his sobbing was mixed with screams. Tears and blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing, and this time the still photo lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the 4th and backed up. This time it was a photo of a boy about the same age, but this time the scene was different. The entrails were being pulled out from a stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped out and dangling, blood trickling down it. The animator proceeded. It was hard to believe, but the next one was different, but we couldn't tell what. He went on to the next, same thing. He went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor, the animating and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not as if they were 5 different photos. They were played out as if they were frames from a video. We saw the hand slowly lift out the guts, and we saw the kid's eyes focused on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid panicking to blink.
Whoa. That's fucked.
The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call on the creator to see this. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he was called down there, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the few frames were shown, all screaming, all sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer. Full frame of the face for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out, and that deep voice said, "Do it." We see in Squidward's hand a shotgun. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters on the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with the force. The last 5 seconds of this episode show his body on the bed, on his side, one eye dangling on what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at it. Then the episode ends. Mr. Hillenberg is obviously angry at this. He demanded to know what the heck was going on. Most people left the room at this point, so it was just a handful of us to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it into my mind and cause me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry that I stayed. The only theory we could think of was the file was edited by somebody in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to analyze it when it happened. The analysis of the file did show it was edited over by new material. However, the timestamp of it was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware as well as glitches, as if the timestamp may have glitched and showed the wrong time. But everything checked out as fine. We don't know what happened to this day. Nobody does. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came of it. No child scene was identified, no clues were gathered from the data involved, nor physical clues in the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I have something happened, I can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence. I think twice about things. Fuck, that was way more in detail than
I didn't know
I don't remember
about
it that much either.
I remember the first kid because
I do remember one kid.
I remember one kid. I remember the child. I forgot about it. But
reading
I didn't
about
know
it or like watching the video.
The video talked about it, but I didn't know it was about like it was legit pictures. Like that is insane, and that is fucking disturbing.
Well, I forgot about the kid. Sorry, that was hard to read. I don't like that. I totally forgot about the first one. So when I was reading, I was like, oh shit, I forgot that there was a kid involved. And then
you get to
the second one, I was like, oh shit, there's a second one. I was like, oh, I've never actually read this.
The video is what got me. That's hard, dude. That's crazy.
Damn.
So we can record a warning.
Yes, absolutely.
And then put that at the beginning.
Absolutely.
For the thing.
You want to do that now or?
We can do it after.
Okay.
But
yeah, dude. So you can watch the video of it on YouTube. It doesn't have any of those pictures, or you won't see like one frame out of place or whatever. Because they took it out, I'm assuming, or it's not real. One of the two. But yeah, could you imagine like being a part of that process and sitting down and just like accidentally, unwillingly seeing all of this? Like,
yeah,
and having to watch it twice.
Yeah, something's fucked up. Like I don't know if I would even make it through the first time, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think I could make it through that. I think the first one I'd be like, all right. You know what? No, I would stick through it just because I would be too curious to know what the end looks like.
Yeah.
But I would only watch it once. I don't think I could watch it twice. Watching it twice is a little much.
Yeah.
There's no reason to see that shit twice.
Yeah.
But like you said, the timestamp was 24 seconds before. How do you think it was something that would have been hacked, or do you think it was something where someone manipulated it?
It has to be a hack.
But you don't think it was the animators or anyone involved in the studio?
No, there's so many questions that come into it though, because like if it's considered a hack, then how would they have edited that particular video in that amount of time, right? When it took them about like months to edit this whole thing, and for them to take in bits and pieces and throw in these random clips at these certain parts for little seconds, it's too much, too detailed. And it's in such a specific amount of time where the show isn't even doing the proper parts of the show. It cuts out random things. So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, I feel like it does, though, because if they're not operating at their normal... this is really weird with your SpongeBob magnet staring at me.
Oh, yeah.
If the show isn't running at its normal pace and they're having a hard time coming up with, new ideas for the new season, then that could mean that layoffs are happening. And so, you never know where somebody's at mentally, So if somebody gets laid off and that's their last straw and, they are seeking revenge, like there's some morbid people out there, man.
Yeah, that is true. People can do some fucked up shit. That was my first thought, was maybe it was one of the editors or one of the artists that got to take a hand of it before it came out to see the show. I don't know, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work for a hacker. They want to get in and get out. They don't want to put time in to make something look good. So I don't know. It's different.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I just seen the video, So I was not aware of all those pictures, but
Yeah. It's wild, man.
but it's
Thank God they don't put them in there.
I mean that is kind of on. Again, this is more of a, because it's one shot. It's more direct for the effect of fear than Ben Drown did, because it got to draw it out over 5 weeks and build it up. So it
that
seems
just
like,
picks you up and throws you down. You know what I mean?
But yeah, there's tons of these that are that were a big thing in like the mid 2000s. This is like the new urban legends. essentially.
Yeah.
So, but
Hope you enjoyed that. Sorry if that was a lot, but you know that's how we do things around here sometimes.
So to lighten it up, we're gonna go to one of the old faithfuls.
One of our signature segments.
maybe the signature segment.
The signature segment. 1, 2, 3. Is it canon, bro?
Nice.
Nice.
But of course, since it's October, well, I mean, this is already supernatural as it is, so it just kind of fits in.
We should change it. Is it spooky, bro?
Everything's just getting replaced by
yeah,
spooks.
that's how creative we are.
But so this week's Is It Canon, Bro, is Frankenstein's monster and the idea of electrical regeneration.
Matthew knows him very well.
I do.
Why do you know him very well?
Growing up, I had a deep voice as a child.
Obnoxiously deep voice.
And whenever somebody imitates me, specifically my mom or my brother,
How do you wake up your mom?
Mom.
they'd make me sound like I'm the Frankenstein's monster. But I wasn't. I was a cute child for like 3 years.
He looked like Frankenstein too.
All right, so Frankenstein's monster and electrical regeneration. So let's start with Frankenstein's monster, because I feel like that's
an extra step. That is sewing together a bunch of different body parts.
I don't see that being realistic at all. I don't see that being that working, unless there's like cybernetics involved. Maybe you can get like things to like click, kind of like magnets, I guess, for certain veins and body parts.
You don't think you can sew body parts on together?
how you stitch things. That's what stitches do.
I don't think stitches would be strong enough though. Like you would need like a full like magnetized like tube.
You need like metal rods to connect things.
It would have to be like in there. But I don't think it could just be stitched. You can't do a little Sally situation. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't make sense. But
Well, Matt,
what do you think, Matt?
I think it's not canon.
Interesting.
I say not canon.
Interesting.
okay, but why?
Yeah, why?
I don't really have. I mean, like Frankenstein's monster, like bringing back an entire human of different body parts all put together, sewed together, and then using electricity to restart the heart, and then everything comes to. Like,
How young do the organs have to be? Like, not even for the whole body per se, but just to get the heart started, you can do that. So like, has to be like within like under an hour, right, before the heart becomes like unusable, I guess.
I don't know, but
Something like that.
But even you hear about people getting kidneys that are the right blood type and everything, and the body just naturally rejects it, right? So now let's take every organ, put them all in a new body that has different body parts attached to it.
Yeah.
And then let's start it up and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I just the chances of it happening are slim to none.
There's no way they all have the same blood type.
But
Even with that, even if it is the same blood type, like even now with like the modern science that we have, where you can transfer a kidney or new lungs or whatever it is, right? Like these big important body parts. Sometimes the body just rejects it, and you don't know why. You've done everything you can. The blood type is fine. The health aspects of it are fine, right? All these checkpoints or check boxes, like on paper, it should work. So now let's go where you have to buy everything, whether off the black market or you have to go dig it up yourself, put it together in this lab that you probably have at your house underground. Like, I don't know how sanitary
Probably
it is.
in a freezer.
I just think there's too many things that just wouldn't go right.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me, but I really hope it could happen at some point. I think it'd be cool.
you want to be able to build a body.
Yeah. Question: if we could do this, regenerate, right? And you got a bunch of like dead people that are alive now, but not like they're like Frankenstein alive. Like they're not all there, you know.
So question on that then. Are they not all there because the brain they regenerated was a dum-dum brain? Or are they not all there because the regeneration process
that is
just like what didn't like 100% it? You know,
So
like they only regenerated 60%. So
that is a part of the play, huh? Because they grabbed the wrong brain in Young Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
I forgot
hilarious.
about
that. That was so funny. I don't want to get into the mind aspects of it. But I think I feel like the brain isn't even a big aspect of like what Frankenstein was. He was just a moving body.
Yeah.
And if it's just a moving body, I say you make them the gladiators, man. Make them fight against each other.
But then also, I feel like there's a whole other aspect of like the soul. You know, like can you regenerate a soul? Like, can you just get a random soul and bring it into somebody's body? Like,
would a soul be attracted to that?
Because some would argue that like the only reason we're up and moving and doing everything is because a soul entered this physical body that we are in, and you need that too. So that's a whole other element that's way like this is already out of my league. That's way out there, right?
Wow, that's I didn't even think about that.
But you know, does the electricity bring that in? Is that how it starts? Because we do know that like electricity can get the heart pumping. Can get certain things to start working, but I think there's this small thin layer of, you know, a soul.
A kickstart in the fire.
So, you know, would a soulless body come to life and start moving around? Would you argue that that's a person? Like, is that why the brain that they had wasn't operating at the level that it probably could, or the capacity that it could? Was it missing that soul aspect? So there was just no identity. So many questions.
But for right now, it's not canon. For right now.
Well, I mean, so that gets into the whole idea of you said no to a body that's made up of a bunch of different parts, but just a normal connected body that just gets electrically regenerated.
What do you mean by electrically regenerated?
Like the way he
like,
does.
I don't have a finger, I get fucking electrocuted and I grow my finger back?
No, like
What
you're
the fuck?
dead and then
You become alive.
They put you on the roof, you get struck by lightning and then now you're breathing and your heart's pumping again. And
Well, isn't that what they do in ambulances when you go out? They get the thing and they go clear.
I forget what those are called, but I
That's essentially the same thing,
but
right?
This is like days after.
Must be a strong shock to wake you up.
they have to be really, really frozen.
And then also, yeah, you brought up the soul, but then it's like if we're thinking scientifically, like what separates that from a zombie if there's no soul? Because a zombie, I feel like, is just brain activity restarted.
Yeah.
But they're up and about, and the difference is zombies can't think for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But
Call 'em
Frankenstein,
nom-nom brains.
does Frankenstein think for himself or not?
Well, he did get a girlfriend at the end of the play, so we know one head is working.
I know he's a pretty good dancer from like what's it called? Three Chipmunks?
Uh-huh.
Chipmunks?
Alvin the
That
Chipmunks.
was a great movie.
That was a
It's
good one.
It's a fantastic
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a Halloween movie?
That's a Halloween movie.
It's 100% a Halloween movie.
Yeah?
100%.
Now I want to watch it.
Through and through. We had to watch that one.
Oh, we'll add that just for fun at some point. Yeah. So electrical regeneration in the way of putting I die, you guys find out 3 days later.
Hold on. You thought we were talking
find
about
out-
growing body parts back?
Electrical regeneration.
Regenerate your body.
Yes, I understand it. Yeah, but regenerate like a body, like your body part. Anyways,
It's oddly specific. Why do you always go to the fingertips?
I don't know. It's just easy for me to show the.
He wants to know if he
Audience.
can cut off a finger anytime.
No.
Can I
did
do
not
this?
get it back.
Can I do this?
I'm gonna go not canon.
You're going to say not canon?
Not canon in the way that you're speaking about it. I think it's canon in the back of an ambulance as somebody's about to go out. You just do it real quick and get things going. But 3 days later, on top of a roof, Mother Nature, do your thing. I don't think it's canon.
Yeah, Matt's right. It's not.
Double not canon.
Do you think it's able to be regenerated once the soul leaves the body?
I think it'd just be.
Given
body.
that the soul is a thing that
It-
exists and leaves
It
and
is.
stuff.
I think for now it might be, and we'll wait for our first zombie. And we'll figure it out.
What the hell are you talking about?
Dude, there's gonna be zombies within 5 years.
But that has nothing to do with what David was talking about. You didn't answer his question.
I was thinking about the zombie thing.
I don't know. I'm gonna go not canon. Just double down on that.
Okay.
Or triple down. Whatever.
All right. Well, thank you. And so now, as it is October, we have our final 3 segments, our little, wrap up. But we're gonna make them
Spooky.
So the first one, as you guys know, is Square Up. And we're going to square up with spooky stories that shouldn't have scared us when we were younger, but did. So I'll go first with my example.
Okay.
And so when I was young, I had to do you had to read you'd read 20 minutes like every day for class. And I was one of the ones that did it. I didn't just say I did it and then didn't do it like I assume you two were.
No, I read.
But I read in the front room of our house, which had windows out to the street. And I would always get super scared because the window curtains would be open and I would be laying on the couch reading. And I would get super scared to look at my front window because I expected a British colonial soldier to pop his head into the window and just stare at me. And
Why
what book were you reading?
Any book, it didn't matter.
It didn't matter.
That specific soldier.
That was what it was.
Huh.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that would pop in your head about who it could be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's creepy.
Is it because of the giant mansion across your street with the giant pillars?
Maybe.
I can see that.
I don't know. I have a recurring dream that could be another week, but
Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
But yeah, so that's like I scared the shit out of me every time I had to read there, and it was dark outside, and I hated it. So
No. My scary childhood story. I don't like sleeping with closets that are open.
okay.
Why? I think a lot of it has to do with like the last October. I told the story about this clown piggy bank that was in my room that ended up being haunted. But that was always in my closet. So I think because of that, and my closet didn't have doors. And it was just like the door broke because Dalton pushed me into it or something. So we had to take it down so I could never close it. So every time I move somewhere, you can ask Monique if we're somewhere and we're staying the night or something, I will get up and I will close the closet doors, I think just because of that.
Wow.
It's a good one.
That's decent. Mine is I was in Matt. So back at the old house of 721, Matthew had a TV in his room, and I would play. There's a PS2 in his room, I think. And so I was playing Star Wars Episode 3 on the PS2. Great game. And I looked to my right, and Matthew's window, his bed was right next to this big window. So I looked to the window and went to the backyard, and it was like midway. It was about to like be dark in about 10 minutes. It was like that really kind of light dark vibe. I don't know how to explain it, but there was this weird shadow, and it looked like every time I would look at it, it's like this person was popping out of the side of the shed, and then it would like go back and then pop out, and I got so like entranced with it because I don't know, maybe I was making it up in my head, but I started seeing it just like walk out and like walk around and then go back behind the shed and then come back out. And I would just keep playing my game, and eventually I would look back, and maybe I'm sad to say, maybe like 2 hours, 3 hours later of doing this every 10 minutes, I realized that when you pause the game, there's like a little thing that flies around in the game, and it was shining onto the window that I was seeing outside, and it just caught my eye every time, and I was entranced with it for like 5 minutes. I was like, what the fuck? I was so annoyed. I forget what it was, but it was on like the loading screen or something. It would get me every time. So that spooked me out, but I was like so annoyed with it at the end. I was like, that was nothing. Literally nothing.
Nice.
That's funny.
I hope that wasn't the best of the three because we still have two more. So the next one is what made you go boo, dude, this week? And it was basically just what's something you learned about or you saw on like TikTok or whatever that was like pretty creepy and you're like, whoa.
I saw this thing about someone took a picture and it was by a military base or something. And if you swiped the filters over on one of there was nothing in the sky. And as you went over, one of the filters showed that there was a plane in the sky, but you couldn't see it.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, it was wild.
Boo.
I saw one with the I watched actually multiple videos of the people driving their Teslas through graveyards.
Oh,
So they would drive their
that's a
Teslas
good
through
one.
graveyards to test it, and they would always get people every time. And one time they got a person walking next to him. It was crazy.
That's a trip.
Yeah.
It's cool.
No, that's cool.
What about you? What do you got for your?
Mine was learning about Saturn's return, which is that the Saturn returns to the original spot that you were born in, after in the 27th year.
Ah,
And so that is why, like, a lot of people, it's supposed to, when Saturn returns, it's supposed to reset you on the path, whatever path you're supposed to be taking in your life. It's supposed to like stick you back on it. And so the theory is that the 27 Club, which is a club of like a lot of celebrities and well-known figures that die at 27, the spiritual theory is that those souls, those people can't handle that much of a jolt back into their spot.
Yeah.
So their soul just ejects and is like, no, I can't take this. And that's why they all pass away.
Damn. I didn't think about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
That's wild.
And the last one is what gets you spooked this week? So either something exciting that's scary or something that is scary that happened now.
I don't know, man. I've been thinking about skinwalkers recently, and they freak me the fuck out.
You've been thinking about them just on your free time?
Yeah.
Think about skinwalkers?
Yeah.
What kind of skinwalkers are you thinking of?
I don't know.
Explain what they look like.
I don't know.
So you just think of the word skinwalker then?
Sure.
Cool.
What about you, Dalton? What got you spooked this week?
I can't go into detail, but I almost had to cut all my hair off this week. And that was terrifying. I was going to be so fucking mad. But saved the day. People helped me out. I'm good. Don't have to shave my head anymore.
Did you get gum in it?
Basically.
It just took forever to get out.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
Why do you think we have cookie butter?
Works
Works better than peanut butter.
It tastes better, too.
What about you, Cheese? What gets you spooked this week?
It's getting darker earlier again. So just more time where I'm going to get home and it's going to be super dark and always stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
To jump out. Probably when I leave, it's going to be that dumb fountain next door.
Oh, yeah. That always gets me.
The little boy.
Yep.
Yes, that thing freaks you out too?
Mm-hmm. Every time I drive past it, it just looks like something out there.
I hate that thing.
But yeah.
All right. If you made it this far into the podcast, thank you so much for your time. We really do appreciate it. Go ahead and leave us a 5-star rating and a review wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you are here and on YouTube and you're watching the video, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and the bell notification icon in the corner. And again, if you have anything you would like to share, any questions that you need answers to, go ahead and call us at the Drum Hotline with the phone number of
840-800-1219.
one more time.
840-800-1219.
All right. Thank you so much. Until next week, everybody stay safe, stay spooky. We'll see you then. I'm Drum.
And I'm Drummer.
We'll see you guys then. Bye.
Bye.